What's up, everybody? Welcome to No Control RC. So like many of you, we actually purchased this when they first came out, and both Alex and I are actually off today. A rarity that happens, and the FedEx truck literally left 15 minutes ago. So there is actually no preemptive looking at anything. We received the quarter scale Pro MX bike. So I think right now what we're going to do is we're going to open this box up, get this thing out. Then we'll go through, touch on the generic everything, the cool factors of the bike, so you guys can kind of see what's going on. They really taped this thing up. Got the green Losi tape, or red. Sometimes. All right, well, first look, the box is nice, but we all know we want to see what's inside of it more than anything, so I'll keep right on going here. Yeah. Get the paperwork and stuff set aside. Now they do a nice job packaging these things up, and it's not styrofoam anymore, it's recycled cardboard, which is nice. What do we got? Pretty sure that's the battery. Let's get this out right here. So you can see they do a nice job. Everything's all wrapped up and safe. So let's get this guy out of here. Here's our stand. Whoop. Just like that. Start gate. Good. All right, so here it all is out of the box. You know, before we really get into the bike, I mean, aside from overall sitting on the table, this thing is really super cool. Let's kind of get this oddball stuff out of the way, then we'll get back to this because this is what everybody's interested in. So first, the remote. It does come with a DX3, which we all know how this works, except for the handful of differences we'll point out. The wheel on it changes to look more like the wheel spokes setup on it. And the other main differences here is this one in the center. I don't know if you guys can quite see it. The one in the center turns on the flywheel for the balancing. So we'll touch on that in a little bit, but that way you can turn it on and off. That keeps it super stable. So, you know, it also comes with chain lube. We got that. We got your start gate right here. Pieces, parts right there. Also, all these little pucks in here go into the swing arm, so you can get different adjustments for your chain, whatever. I'm assuming if you change sprockets or whatever. What's in this box? Oh. And it comes with a little wall charging setup, so you can actually charge your battery. So if you're ever out on the fly or whatever, I don't know how long it would take, but if you didn't have a charger with you, you can now charge it and get up and going. AA batteries for the remote. You got a bag full of your generic tools you need for it. Some actually not bad looking wrenches and nails. That way, I'm assuming you can put that right down in the ground so it stays nice and solid. And last but least, it even comes with the battery. So you get a nice battery setup right there. So what does it come with? 5,000 2S battery, smart battery. So that's a nice battery to come with it. So all right, let's you. All right, so now that you got a slightly closer look at it, you know, obviously this is the Kawasaki green. We bought this one because, you know, green is cool. So let's kind of start overall generically here. Losi spared no expense on getting licensing for everything that you can get. So this is as close looking to a Pro Circuit Suzuki Kawasaki that you could get. It's got actually licensed Dunlop tires. The wheels are two-piece. They're plastic, yes, but they are two-piece, and you got to glue the tires on. You got actual aluminum Pro Circuit labeled front forks. Now, as with the steering, you'll notice it doesn't actually steal the handlebars, which, you know, whatever, but it does steer the front forks, so that's cool. Right on this side actually is a real mechanical disc brake. So you can see right there, there's a cable running down that runs all the way up here to a servo that actually squeezes the front brake. The rear is done through the speed control like all the other RC cars, but the front actually has a disc brake on it, which is cool. So we'll come up to the Dryder right here. You got licensed Scott goggles on them and jersey. Now the jersey itself, cloth. You can see right here, you got a zipper. So we're not going to take it off because we don't want them naked. But it's an actual cloth, all zipper jersey. It's not the painted on like we've seen back in the day. Really, really nice looking. Now it is held on. He's held on by his hands right here. There's a screw right here, and then down here is held on his feet. So, and they're through the center right there. We're not going to take him all apart, but he's held on pretty well. He's not falling off. Now the not as cool looking part of it right here, you got your little safety wheels. So I mean, that keeps it so it flops and you can drive around and all that. Doesn't look as cool. I don't know, maybe at one point we take them off and see how it drives without it, but right now I'm pretty sure we're going to need them. So let's spin it around a little bit here. We'll check out the back. So you have your same thing here, two-piece plastic wheel with a glued tire on, all Dunlop licensed. Back here, the rear fender. So when you really do want to do your wheelies, this does pop up. Got a little O-ring in there, all that. So that's cool. So that'll come up. You won't damage it. And under here, plop this pin off right next to your Pro Circuit muffler. Drop that down right there, and right in there, that's where the battery goes. So she's right up underneath the rider, and then it plugs in right over there. So really cool looking. That's the overall generic look on it. Now, spec-wise, whatever, you know, this thing comes with 2 motors. So it actually has a 2700 kV motor in it that is attached to a flywheel that is way down here at the bottom. And that is the stabilizer flywheel. That will help essentially gyro, keep this thing so it wants to stay upright, stays easy to run, makes it way more fun. And it's also powered by a 3800 kV Spectrum motor. So it should have pretty good snot. Probably actually act like a bike. Now, there is a feature on it that I got to look up because I don't 100% know how to use it, but you can do wheelies. You can hold it up in wheelies and have a blast with that. We're gonna experience with that, see what we can figure out. So, kind of can't really wait to do it. It does come, believe it or not, with a 6-channel receiver in this thing because, you know, you got speed control, you got the one for the flywheel. It's actually got a servo for the brakes. It's got a servo for the steering. And it actually has a feature on it that isn't really servo related, but the front fork itself has a mechanism that allows it to flex. So if you run head on into something or hit something or land on the nose, you don't have all the weight being transferred directly to the points where the fork mounts. It actually has a little bit of give to it to help, you know, let's face it, you don't want to spend the money on this bike and have it break immediately. So that's a good saving grace for that. But aesthetic wise, I kind of keep looking at it. This thing is killer looking. It really does. It looks like a little mini Kawasaki. But, okay, so anything else I want to touch about? You guys want to know anything else, or should we just put some batteries in it and run it?
Batteries.
Batteries. All right, let's go do it.
Controllers on. Bike's on. Now we gotta start the flywheel. You can hear it buzzing.
Let it fly. Wheelie mode.
Brandon's driving.
Did you go off that rib? That was borderline impressive.
All right, well, we're back from running the Losi Pro Moto Mx, and I'll say we waited like 5 weeks to get this thing from the day I ordered it, and we weren't even sure we were going to get it or if it was going to show up. Came with no tracking number or nothing. They hit my account for the payment, and then it showed up. No complaints about that because it showed up. But Brandon, what are your initial thoughts of this new vehicle?
So what I'm kind of going to say on this, start from the beginning. Is it cool? It absolutely is cool. It's actually fun to drive around, but what we're going to say about it is you actually really need a dedicated area for this. It doesn't work in bash format. if you got a small backyard or you used to running 4-wheel drive trucks around, you need more room than that with this thing. So is it cool? Yes, it's kind of cool to drive a bike around, but like I said, you got to have room and you got to have a good environment to run it. Overall, I mean, we even dislocated the guy's shoulder. He's got to go to the chiropractor. So didn't break nothing on it, but really specialty oriented. If you got a track or a sand pit by you, you're probably going to have a ball with this because that's really what it's meant for. It's just you need so much room to turn it and so much room to do stuff with it. It just doesn't work in a backyard format that well. Is it impossible? No. Depends on how much room you got. But to be honest, that's what we came across with it. It's just really kind of specialty oriented with it. Anything else you want to add?
Now, I agree with that severely. It was tons of fun over at the big parking lot with the dirt and everything. In the grass here at my house, not so much. Even when you try to turn, it catches and it pulls the thing over. And the second thing I'll say is the battery, at least the one that came with this vehicle, with running those 2 motors, it chews it up really quick. I would say 12 minutes, 15 minutes of
12, 15, depending on how severe you're running it. Also keep in mind, this is a smart battery, 2S, only at 5,000. We didn't try anything else. We only tried the battery it came with because of the compartment of the size of it. So the only thing I can say is look at what you got for room. You may be able to put a little bit bigger battery in it, a little higher capacity, and get longer runtime out of it.
I don't think so. I put the battery in this, and it's pretty tight, even being that small battery.
So the only thing you could do is look up the smart battery from Spectrum and maybe get a higher capacity battery in that particular one. Otherwise, yeah, you're probably going to have 15 minutes of runtime with this. The flywheel and motor combination, I mean, I do want to touch the flywheel. It works pretty wild. When you pick the bike up, you can feel it wanting to stand up. The flywheel functions very well, but it's 2 motors running off 1 battery, so it does suck the life right out of it.
The flywheel function works very well. You almost cannot drive it without it on. I tried, and it is almost impossible, at least on the grass. Maybe in a big field, you might be better off. But as soon as you tried to turn, the bike just went down, and I guess that's to be expected.
I feel like we had a tiny bit of luck and we ran it over at the brewery in a big flat area, and I think we shut it off and we were able to get it to run for a little bit.
Yeah, but it was straight as soon as you try to turn. And I'll say about this as well, if you think you're going to use this on like a dirt road, you better have 2 people, one to catch it at the other end and turn it around, because you need at least 20 feet to really turn this bike around.
Yeah.
It is fun. It's quality. It's well built. I'm sure you'll see in the video, I hit 2 things head on because I'm just not very good at driving it, and I'll admit that. It's an item that probably won't stay in the stable as far as I'm concerned. This one will probably move on from, just because it's so limited of a thing. We don't have any motocross tracks or even bike tracks around here that's easily accessible that we could get to and have access to. So with that being said, we'll probably clean this guy up, go through it, make sure nothing's broken, and we'll probably move it on down the line. Anything else, Brandon?
I got nothing. Honestly, the only cool thing that I'm going to point out is they're not for sale yet, but you can check out the nice, cool shirts that we've acquired. Something we're trying out. See what happens down the road. But I got white. I flipped a coin and I got white. So I have to stand very still so I don't get it dirty.
You'll be fine. You can close us out.
Okay, so that's our wrap up on this rig. Again, super cool, but really know your environment if you're going to buy this and run it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of hop-ups you can do. It comes with aluminum pieces in there. You can see what you can buy. It comes with, you can also buy hole shots and a set of super motard tires for it. So keep that in mind. It's upgradable. You can go to many different environments with it, but just know your environment. If you're going to spend this level of money, make sure you know where and what you can run. So that's really all we got on it. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Keep us going. You guys have been great. And we'll catch you next time.